And essentially, language really is an expression of relationship in which the agreement in relationship manifests in reality and forms creation or everything else in reality. So when it comes to our words becoming flesh, we're really talking about, are we in agreement with the heart of God, and are our desires in agreement with his desires, so that then when we think and speak, we are thinking and speaking that into a reality that light responds to us as it responds to God. And we tend to think of, Jesus being the word that became flesh. And of course, that's the truth. But he wasn't words, you know what I mean? He wasn't words. He was a living expression of the reality of God's intention, expressed through him in that way. So did he speak creation into being in the way that I am speaking now? Well, no, not exactly, because he's not a person like me in a limited sense. But everything, when we're talking about in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, so in a sense you can't differentiate God from the word. Well, it wasn't the word G-O-D or Yahweh or Yod-He Vav-He. We're not talking about it in those concepts. But of course, people have to relate to it in some way. So we tend to put it into human concepts for people to relate to the precepts of God and the very essence of God in some sort of way that they can think. So that's why we use metaphors. The lamb that was slain before the foundation. Well, Jesus was never a lamb. Lambs were not even created until later on, were they? So so it wasn't that he was a lamb and then we created lambs so that we would relate to Jesus. He related in the written things of those things in a way that would give us some sort of way of rationalizing the concept that, the word was with God, the word was God. Well, we immediately think of words that we speak, but that's not the concept. The reality, when it was like the word was God, well, God, what is God? Light, spirit, love. So expressions of the manifestation of those things, which we need words to be able to give us some tangible way of engaging with it. So, when I brood and I meditate and brood in the Father's heart to align my heart with his heart, resonate with the frequency. So literally, light is vibrational energy. Amen. So words are vibrational energy, expressions of vibrational energy. So, of course, in the Bible, they were never going to use frequency as a term because it didn't exist in the same way as we know it scientifically now. So they used another term for energy that's vibrating at a particular frequency, which carries with it an intention that will bring manifestation. And that's what we call words, but there wasn't words in sense. You could say it was thoughts or intentions that were expressed and were manifested. So when I speak, or I am literally an expression of the intention of God, then light responds to me in the same authority that it does to God. And it helps us to think of speaking it or calling it into being or calling something that doesn't exist as if it does. Amen. Because that gives us some tangible way of expressing it. But God didn't literally do that. He just manifested his frequency in such a way that it actually manifested reality that he chose. But we find those sort of concepts a bit intangible. So we use language to help us understand or connect with concepts which are somewhat difficult to engage with without some metaphor or something. So the word or speaking is sort of a metaphor we understand, and therefore that's how it was used.